Welcome back to Desert Sun Crypto. I'm your host, the Desert Sun. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. I had a really nice weekend. Just uploaded some videos and among other things, but just obviously watched the space, did my research. So I'll maybe dropping a bunch of videos, a little short but sweet videos. This one, I want to focus on obviously the market. We're at 2.14, which is up from last week. Um, Everything looks to be still going up. We had Bitcoin breach the $50,000 mark this weekend. And I want to now just jump over and focus on Cardano, which I've been focusing on as of recent, just with a lot of news, and I want to share some of it. But here we are. Let's look at the 7 day. Uh, Everything is still going up. We haven't yet reached $3, but the price has almost doubled in the last month, with a number of news that's coming out with um, the Cardano's Alonzo upgrade. So um, let's get into it. What exactly is it that we're talking about when it comes to Cardano? So the Alonzo hard fork, and for those of you who aren't sure, or I'm not, might be familiar with what a hard fork is. When you have a new version that comes up, like let's say, I'll use the example of PlayStation 2. A hard fork would be the games from PlayStation 1 you couldn't play on PlayStation 2. To bring that over, anything that was used on the network before would not be used after. They're just completely two different versions. A soft fork would obviously be one that is interchangeable, like the PlayStation example that I used. So the Alonzo fork is a major upgrade to Cardano network. It sees the much anticipated implementation of the smart contract functionality. Uh, and the smart contracts are pieces of computer code that automatically execute when certain predefined conditions are met. So an example of this would be if, let's say, I don't know, um, I let someone borrow my car, and I had a couple conditions, like they can only, drive it 5 miles, fill it up with gas, bring it back, with the tank full and washed. Um, the smart contract is just basically able to write that contract up without me having to actually punch everything in. So what does that do? It makes it um, business a lot more expeditious and contemporary with regard to the technology that exists. The other thing is that it's paving the way for native decentralized applications, or dApps. So they shared, and by they I mean Cardano, shared a series of the stages in a roadmap for um, everything that was to come to ADA or ADA or Cardano. And they broke these down by using the names of just figures through history. So right now in the smart contract space, we're at Goguen, which is introducing smart contract capabilities to the network, allowing developers to create decentralized applications on top of Cardano. Now they just completed the Shelley and the Byron. Shelley being the decentralizing of the network and setting up incentives for users to use their own nodes, and the Byron, which came before it, which is ultimately the foundation of Cardano. Um, so what do we have to look forward to with regard to Cardano? The Basho, followed by the Voltaire. What are they? Well, the Basho is improves the underlying performance of Cardano network to be able to process more transactions and scale up. This error also introduces side chains, which is a means of scaling a network using multiple blockchains. And it's just what it sounds like. If you could picture a blockchain, um, as linear, it has uh, other directions it'll go. So it's nonlinear. The other is the Voltaire, and that adds voting and treasury system for self-sustaining governance. Users will be able to stake their funds to influence future development on the network. Now, these networks that are being set up are really interesting, sophisticated, because there is an internal governance. So some networks are, doing a consensus where um, you can use um, the coins that you're staking as leverage to vote. Some allow only one vote per user, so on and so forth. But this is just entering a really interesting um, phase across the board. We've seen this with Flare networks on top of many others. So if you want to check out more, I would encourage you to go to um, uh, IUHK's um, or IOHK's Input Output Hong Kong. That is the premier site that Charles Hoskinson and a company have been working on. Speaking of Charles Hoskinson, and actually just kind of showing you what's happening in the space, I just happened to type in crypto hacks, and they're sharing the same story: the $600 million heist, how it was returned, $600 million, 600 million, 620, 600 million. And so again, and I don't want to downplay that 600 million has been stolen, but the reality is, and I've shown this in some other channels, is that they're creating a lot of hype to steer people away from the space without adding mechanisms or advice on how to prevent this from happening. And so Charles Hoskinson, actually, this is a video he just released yesterday, throws it in. He's just being brutal honest about the space.
Important that you stay vigilant, very important that you understand that scams are running very hot right now. People are trying to get ADA. No matter how much I mention it, no matter how much I talk about it, unfortunately, millions to tens of millions of dollars between now and the end of September will likely be stolen because people weren't using common sense. This is unfortunately where our industry's at. It's where our regulations are at, and it's where the social media giants are at. They just simply don't care. They've never
I agree with him. He goes on to say they haven't cared, and that's the reality. Um, as time progresses, it goes forward. Maybe that'll change, but as I've said in other videos, it's not like scams just popped up only in this space. They've been happening for generations. That's all I've got in this one, folks. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Desert Sun Crypto. Desert Sun Crypto. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you soon.